Welcome back to the channel, USD Coins, where we uncover the fascinating stories behind the most extraordinary and valuable coins in existence. If you're a coin collector, numismatics enthusiast, or simply someone who enjoys a good mystery wrapped in metal, you're in for a real treat. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most captivating and controversial coins to ever emerge from the US Mint, the elusive 1983 Liberty 1-cent coin, which, due to a rare and peculiar set of errors and mistakes, has been valued at a staggering $3.6 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, worth just 1 cent in face value, has the potential to change someone's life completely. It might sound unbelievable at first. After all, how could a coin so small, and seemingly so ordinary, become a collector's dream with a multi-million-dollar price tag? To truly grasp why this 1983 penny has attained legendary status in the numismatic community, we need to explore its origins, the minting process, and the chain of events that led to the birth of what is now considered a modern-day treasure. But more importantly, we'll delve into the minute and highly specific details that make this coin so incredibly rare and desirable to collectors around the world. To begin with, it's essential to understand that the United States Mint has produced billions of 1-cent coins over the decades, with most of them being mass-produced with such consistency that errors are both rare and often minor. However, in 1983, something unexpected occurred. This was a transitional period for the US Mint, and changes in coin composition were relatively recent. Just 1 year earlier, in 1982, the Mint had made a major shift in the material used to make pennies. Prior to that year, pennies were primarily made of 95% copper. Starting in mid-1982, the composition was altered to a primarily zinc-based core with a thin copper plating. The decision was largely financial, as the rising cost of copper made the production of copper pennies no longer economically viable. Now here's where things start to get really interesting. The year 1983 was supposed to be the first full year of uninterrupted production of the new zinc-cored, copper-plated pennies. However, during the minting process that year, a few anomalies crept into the system. Whether due to human oversight, mechanical malfunction, or simply a perfect storm of unlikely coincidences, a very small number of 1983 pennies were struck on the old copper planchets, the metal blanks used for the older, pre-1982 copper coins. This single mistake changed the value of those few coins from being practically worthless to astronomically valuable. One of the biggest reasons the 1983 penny stands out is because of its weight. A standard post-1982 penny, made of zinc and copper plating, should weigh around 2.5 grams. However, the copper-based pennies struck in error in 1983 weigh approximately 3.1 grams, which is a significant difference in the numismatic world. This weight anomaly was one of the first clues that something was unusual about a select few of the 1983 pennies in circulation. Collectors who weighed their coins found some didn't match the standard for that year, and those lucky enough to hold on to those heavier coins had unknowingly struck gold, or more accurately, struck copper. To confirm the composition of these coins, experts employed advanced testing methods such as X-ray fluorescence spectroscopy and specific gravity tests. These tests conclusively showed that these rare 1983 pennies were indeed composed primarily of copper, rather than the expected zinc core. And that's when the true value of the error began to come into focus. You see, coin collectors and investors prize uniqueness, rarity, and a compelling story, all of which the 1983 copper penny delivers in abundance, but the story doesn't end with just the composition. The 1983 penny is also famous for other types of errors that add to its mystique. One particularly noteworthy example is the 1983 double die reverse penny. In this variation, the reverse side of the coin, which features the Lincoln Memorial, was struck twice, but not precisely aligned. This created a visible doubling of the inscriptions, most notably in the words, 1 cent and e pluribus unum. These doubling errors are easy to miss without magnification but become dramatically apparent under close inspection. The existence of a double die reverse combined with the rare copper composition makes for a numismatic jackpot. If you're lucky enough to find one of these unicorns, a 1983 copper penny with a double die reverse, you're potentially looking at one of the most valuable modern coins in American history. Now, let's talk about mint marks. Mint marks on coins indicate which U.S. mint facility produced the coin. In 1983, pennies were minted at Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. However, coins minted in Philadelphia traditionally did not bear a mint mark. That year, however, saw the production of 1983 pennies with no mint mark, as expected, as well as with the D mark for Denver. While no known 1983's pennies were officially released for circulation, some have surfaced over time, typically as proof coins meant for collectors. If a 1983's copper penny were to be found in circulation or outside its intended packaging, its value would be enormous, likely even higher than that of the known Philadelphia or Denver examples. Another factor that makes the 1983 penny so desirable is the sheer improbability of its existence. During the switchover from copper to zinc planchets, the mint was supposed to have completely purged its stock of copper planchets. Yet, somehow, a few copper blanks were overlooked or accidentally used. The number of surviving examples is extremely small, which means demand far exceeds supply. Combine that with the compelling backstory, and you have a perfect storm of numismatic allure. Adding to the intrigue are the debates and speculations within the collector community. Was the error purely accidental, or was it possibly a clandestine action by a mint employee who recognized the potential value of a transitional error? Such theories, while speculative, only add to the mystique. The possibility, however remote, that someone inside the mint intentionally struck a few 1983 copper pennies and released them into the wild, is the kind of mystery that numismatists love to debate endlessly. Let's not forget about the role of authentication. With such high stakes, counterfeiters have also entered the scene, attempting to pass off copper-plated zinc coins as the real 1983 copper errors. This makes third-party grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, absolutely essential. These organizations use precise scientific methods to confirm a coin's authenticity, ensuring that buyers are not duped. In fact, only authenticated and graded 1983 copper pennies fetch prices in the 6 or 7-figure range. Over the years, several of these error coins have come to light, often discovered by everyday people who had no idea what they were holding. One of the most famous examples was found by someone casually searching through a jar of old coins. When it was authenticated, that seemingly ordinary penny turned out to be worth over $1 million. It's stories like these that fuel the imagination and excitement of collectors everywhere. The dream that maybe, just maybe, you'll be the next person to find a fortune hidden in plain sight. The marketplace for such coins has also evolved. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers have hosted sales where the 1983 copper penny reached eye-popping prices, and interest has only grown. In fact, speculative buying has driven up prices even further, with private sales rumored to have crossed the $3.6 million threshold for a perfect specimen. Such sales aren't always publicized, but whispers in the numismatic community point to deep-pocketed collectors who will stop at nothing to own a piece of history. But perhaps the most fascinating part of the story is the emotional impact of the discovery. For many people, collecting coins is a nostalgic hobby, a link to the past, or even a family tradition. When a single coin carries such historical, cultural, and financial weight, it transcends the boundaries of its small size. It becomes a symbol of luck, of perseverance, and of the enduring human fascination with treasure. So what does this mean for you? Should you go digging through your piggy bank, scouring every 1983 penny you come across with a magnifying glass? Maybe. The odds are certainly slim, but they're not zero. And sometimes, hope is all it takes. With the right knowledge, patience, and a little luck, anyone can stumble across something extraordinary. After all, someone has to find the next one. There's also an educational component to all of this. Learning to identify key features, such as weight discrepancies, doubling in the lettering, mint marks, and unusual coloration, can transform a casual collector into a savvy one. The more you know, the better your chances of identifying coins of genuine value. And even if you don't find $1 million penny, the skills you develop along the way are valuable in their own right. The 1983 Liberty 1-cent coin is more than just a collector's item. It's a lesson in history, a marvel of minting, and a testament to the enduring allure of the unknown. Whether it's the result of an innocent mistake or a deliberate act, its value lies not just in its metal content, but in the story it tells and the mystery it continues to hold. Today, we're diving into the captivating story of one of the most mysterious and valuable modern coins ever discovered, the 1993 D. Lincoln cent. At first glance, it might seem like an ordinary penny, one of billions struck by the U.S. Mint. But behind that small, copper-plated exterior lies an astonishing tale of minting anomalies, numismatic intrigue, and an estimated value of $2.6 million, all because of a series of errors and unexplained circumstances. Whether you're a seasoned collector, a curious enthusiast, or someone who stumbled upon an old coin in a drawer, you won't want to miss this incredible story. Let's begin by taking a look at the background of the 1993 D. Lincoln cent. The D. Mint mark indicates that the coin was minted in Denver, Colorado, one of the primary U.S. mint facilities responsible for striking billions of coins each year. In 1993 alone, the Denver Mint produced over 6.4 billion 1-cent coins. With such massive production numbers, you'd think a single penny would be as common as dirt. And usually, you'd be right. But every so often, a coin emerges from the sea of billions, standing out not just for its condition, but for something far more extraordinary, a mint error that defies explanation. In the world of numismatics, or coin collecting, errors can range from the mundane to the miraculous. A small strike-through error, a missing letter, a doubling of the date, these are relatively common and can command modest premiums. But then there are errors so rare, so inexplicable, and so fascinating that they create legends in the hobby. That's the case with the 1993 D. Lincoln cent, rumored to be worth as much as $2.6 million. It's not just a regular coin with a scratch or a blemish, it's a coin with profound anomalies that have baffled experts and collectors alike. So what makes this particular 1993 D. penny so special? To understand its value, we need to delve into the specifics of the errors and mistakes that contribute to its astronomical worth. One of the most commonly cited issues with the coin is an incorrect planchet, a blank metal disc that is supposed to match the coin's denomination. There have been cases where cents have been struck on dime planchets, or even on foreign coin blanks, creating major rarity. If a 1993 D cent was accidentally struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination or metal composition, this could be a significant factor in its high value. There's also the possibility of a double denomination error. This type of error occurs when a coin is struck once with dies for one denomination and then struck again using dies for another. For example, a penny could be struck first as a dime, and then again as a cent. These types of errors are incredibly rare, and when they happen, they are often considered numismatic marvels. If such an error occurred on a 1993 D cent, especially with clear overstrikes from both denominations, the result would be a one-of-a-kind piece with immeasurable value. Then there's the category of double dies, when a coin's design appears doubled due to a misalignment during the die creation process. A famous example is the 1955 double die cent, which shows clear and dramatic doubling of the date and inscriptions. If a 1993 D cent exhibits this kind of dramatic doubling, it could command immense value. Especially if the doubling affects not just the date, but the Liberty inscription, the motto, "In God We Trust," or Lincoln's profile itself. Other possibilities include off-center strikes, which occur when the coin isn't properly centered during the striking process, leading to part of the design being missing or off to one side. Though these are more common than other errors, an off-center 1993 D penny with a large percentage of the design missing yet still showing a full date and mint mark would certainly be of interest to collectors. Combine this with any other error, and the value would skyrocket. Now let's consider die clashes, where the dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving ghostly impressions of one design on the opposite die. When coins are then struck using these damaged dies, the resulting images can be eerie and fascinating. Imagine seeing part of Lincoln's profile appearing in the area meant for the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side. Such a dramatic die clash could push an already rare coin into the stratosphere of value. Some reports also suggest the presence of misplaced mint marks or repunched mint marks. A repunched mint mark occurs when the mint mark is punched into the die more than once in slightly different positions, resulting in a shadow or doubling effect. A misplaced mint mark, on the other hand, might appear in an unusual location on the coin, either too high, too low, or even reversed in extremely rare cases. These errors are often missed at first glance but are prized among advanced collectors when discovered. Now, let's address the condition and grade of the coin. As with any rare coin, condition is king. A coin graded as MS67 or higher, meaning mint state with very few or no visible marks under magnification, can fetch tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, even without rare errors. When a rare error is combined with pristine condition, the value multiplies exponentially. Imagine a 1993 D penny with a major error graded MS68 red, the highest echelon of eye appeal and preservation. The rarity of such a coin would place it in a league of its own. How does a humble 1-cent piece end up valued at $2.6 million? The answer lies in a combination of extreme rarity, multiple errors, pristine condition, and the excitement generated among collectors when something so unusual comes to light. In many ways, value is determined not just by what a coin is, but by what it represents, a deviation from the norm, a curiosity, a fluke of history. It becomes a symbol of imperfection, frozen in metal, that defied the odds and escaped into circulation. Let's not forget the mystique and speculation that surround such coins. Sometimes, a coin gains notoriety not just for its physical traits, but for the stories attached to it. Perhaps it was discovered in a roll of change by an unsuspecting individual. Or maybe it was hoarded for years before being identified by an expert. The unknown origin, the whisper of conspiracy or mint employee error, and the thrill of the hunt all add layers of fascination that inflate both emotional and market value. There's also the issue of supply and demand. The world of rare coins is highly competitive, with collectors willing to pay top dollar for coins that complete their sets or stand as crowning jewels in their collections. A one-of-a-kind 1993 D cent with multiple dramatic errors and immaculate condition would draw massive interest at auction. And when you have more collectors than available coins, especially when the coin in question is unique, prices can reach astronomical levels. Sometimes, the presence of errors leads collectors to speculate whether they were truly accidental or if they were created deliberately by mint employees, an illicit practice known as mint mule errors or intentional mint-made varieties. While controversial and often surrounded by scandal, coins believed to be the result of insider tampering are often even more desirable due to their notoriety. If any evidence or rumors suggest the 1993 D cent was the product of such circumstances, that alone could elevate its status and desirability. To date, the exact number of known 1993 D error cents with these extraordinary features remains shrouded in mystery. Some sources claim only one such example exists. Others believe more may be out there, hiding in plain sight, awaiting discovery by a lucky individual going through their pocket change or old coin jar. That possibility alone fuels the interest and encourages collectors to keep searching. The truth is, stories like this keep the coin collecting world alive. They serve as a reminder that hidden gems may still be circulating in the most unexpected places. They ignite the imagination and give everyday people a reason to look twice at something they might have overlooked. They turn the mundane into the magnificent and add a sense of adventure to an otherwise routine activity. So next time you come across a penny with a 1993 D mint mark, don't toss it aside. Take a closer look. Examine the edges, the date, the lettering, the surfaces. You might just be holding onto something far more valuable than you ever imagined. After all, history has shown that some of the most valuable coins started life just like any other, passed from hand to hand, unnoticed for years, until one day someone finally saw what made them different.